Still going to be vulnerable to the cross. Flashbangs, though, do manage to blind the players and allow a little bit of progress to be made towards that bomb site before the fight comes in. They can fight from CT and the bomb site itself. The flank comes around. Goofy eliminated as Jedker trades it back into a 3 versus 3, but he doesn't last all too long as Hunden's quick to dispatch him. 1-0, looking to be on the cards for Tricked here. Cards, but not on the board just yet. Mono still has a kit, so if they can find these kills, be looking fantastic. Oscarish suspects the flank to be coming in even still and finds the kill. Now they can go for this. The time is running very low though. Flashbang. Oh, it doesn't go over. It's a whiffed flash. That could have been very helpful for the push, but Mono goes down and no chance of winning this now. There's just simply not enough time to pick that kit back up and find the kills.
Yeah, gets one on the site, of course Oscarish does, but quick trade ready by Acor. He pounces from the ramp. That it is going to be Tricked picking up the opening pistol here on Dust 2, a very much needed pistol round as well. That's, I think, the second pistol round they picked up so far in the series. They got one back on train. And of course pick this one up here now on Dust 2. So a solid start. It's going to have to be an eco coming in from x-kom. As you can see, a couple upgraded pistols, or well, rather, I think just, yeah, the two upgraded, the CZ and the P250 being pulled out. So there's a chance for, I guess, some small damage to be put in, maybe drop a weapon or two out of the hands of Tricked. But they're playing this relatively safely. They've gone for 2 AKs, a Galil, a couple of SMGs, and already finding that long control early on up against the pistols. Of course, they'll be heavily favoured at long range if it comes down to those fights.
Yeah, indeed. The pistols without armor as well. It's a very easy affair for Trick to be coming out on top of. You're just looking for a little bit of damage from x-kom with the reinvestment coming in, or the investment rather, for the next round. They're saving up their money. Got the piggy banks they're going to smash to get some weapons out the next round. But for now, it should be very swift. And Tricked suffering no losses as they make the... Okay. As I say it, Tricked suffer a loss. I thought Stush was surely going to walk away with that kill. Hunden makes sure that no weapon is to be saved over by pushing down middle. Oscarish is aware of this angle, but still cannot land the shots in time. Hunden takes his head off and puts it 2-0. And with that lead now, Tricked gain themselves a little bit of momentum into this map, but x-kom still have a chance to pull it back because they've got their full buy coming out now. The only real... okay. I was going to say the only real problem for them is the lack of a scope in a map like Dust. It can be very versatile and useful, and Jedker goes ahead and remedies that problem before it even comes to fruition. An AWP in play for the CT side. Sadly, though, it is a glass cannon, which will cause a couple of gripes, a couple of problemos for the x-kom side, as he's pushed back towards the B bomb site, with the terrorists claiming bottom middle control. B is under a lot of threat, and with Jedker going down in the open, again without armor, it was a very easy kill. Great flash as Stush finds a second, and the bomb plant is assured to come in this buy round, dismantled very quickly by Tricked.
Yeah, there wasn't really much of a chance for x-kom at all right there. Sush just walking out mid, gets 2 quick kills. Of course, completely shutting down really any chance for the B defense to get anything at all. And with that smoke in CT, instantly x-kom, after losing the initial 2 players, had to just call for the save. 3-0 going to be the score for Trick. They're carrying on some momentum and some form from Train. And it looks like they even want to try and actually hunt down these weapons. They don't allow for anything to be saved. Will they manage to drop them though? Hunden had a bit of a read, I suppose, about where Stomp was positioned. Able to easily take himself that headshot, and with that, Goofy and Mono now the last 2 left on long. They were the last 2 left on long. They're gone.
I just noticed the UI doesn't update when they die after time. It's a little unusual, but such is the nature of CSGO. 3-0. No weapons saved over for x-kom. They take pistols again, and Tricked look favoured to find a 4th. And considering how convincingly they won out the previous round, it's not looking good for x-kom. We need to see a big shift in how they approach their buy rounds. The thing is, though, of course, they had the glass cannon up. They lost control of mid so early on, and just a very swift push. But this is why Tricked, tend to fare quite well on Dust. You can see they have a lot of control very early on. They play a very fast T side. The only problem there is that they should suspect x-kom to be weak bot. And if your opponents are with pistols, you don't really want to be spreading out like that and leaving a player by himself to hold middle.
Yeah, certainly a risk, and of course it does end up giving away an AK. Mono been able to retrieve that one and carry it into the next round. The rest of the XCOM forces are just going to be holding outside of the bomb site and hoping that the exits will come in their direction so that they can at least get a little bit of a bit of extra damage in, maybe steal away another rifle or two. But I don't think that's going to be allowed. We should see Trick exit through tunnels pretty easily. Although Oscarish is getting somewhat nearby now. The thing is, the rest of the players haven't even bothered to leave the bomb site. With being on full health, they were able to just kind of chill in the corner. They're willing to take that bomb damage and ensure that they don't give any chances at all for those pistols to steal away weapons.
Well, Tricked, this is a very important round for them. A double op setup on the CT side could cause a couple of problems for them. Stomp and Jedger gonna make things happen, looking to make the impact of reality. Jedger over towards the B bomb side. Won't be seeing any fights just yet. Although, by the looks of the positions, you have got Borup down there. I'm not sure if he's going to be trying to split through CT or if he's just going to try catch the rotations. Either way, Jedker is peeking it, slowly but surely shifting around, and as he crab walks through, he's taken out Smoke on the cross and Molotov behind it as well, as they now shift their focus on the back of that pick, knowing that there should only be one player towards B. That is Oscarish, but he's very quick to strike. Takes down Hunden, coming out the doors now, says hello to Borup. A great play from Oscarish. Although the B bomb side has fallen, they now have a man advantage, and that could extend further, but Bubsky has managed to sneak up on them and find one kill for free. Caught off by the CT player of Stomp, but the bomb site secured for Tees, leaving a bomb plant to go down and a 2 versus 2 to ensue. The Molotov in the window as well. That means they only have to worry about the door for now. Tunnel's rotation is unlikely to have come around for the next couple of seconds, so they have a minute to relax. Till eventually Acor has to be concerned about that angle. Is that a smoke that just went down there? So that means they know that they're coming from the door and the window, which won't end too well for the CTs, I imagine.
No, it did not at all. Acor and Shush was able to quickly shut it down. You can see it was overall a pretty nice hold coming in. It was looking to be really the best chance for XCOM. The problem was Bubsky and Mid being able to catch that, I guess, rotate in. The kill also being found on the B bomb site before they took it over. You know, at that point then a 2-on-2 is just a pretty tough retake to try and pull off on that B bomb site. Especially with not a lot of utility to work with. Down to just the pistols again in this round, bar the one AUG that Mono has in play, and as we can see yet again, the opening frag comes in favor of Tricked. Oscarish goes down early on, but Stomp hits a nice shot at least to put up a little bit of a fight.
Right now, this is a small fight, but it's more of a tantrum, really, for XCOM. Something that Tricked going to be a little bit irritated by, but certainly shouldn't be losing control over. Oh, great spray down for Mono, though, with Hunden out of the picture. Things become a little easier, and they could actually go for this, even without a kit. They make a move fast up short. May just be able to overpower Bubsky. He goes in for the peek. Bubsky only has to worry about the bomb site now. Well, the Molotov didn't quite hit where it wanted to, but the spray down, he is only worried about the bomb site as the smoke went down. The round was already over with a very, very quick 6-0 for Trick developing. Things get very worrisome for XCOM, although we've seen both teams perform, that's the word, better on their T side so far. It's certainly been a very Tricked-sided affair, and Bubsky, up there on 9 kills, is leading the charge for the terrorist side. Full scopes for x-kom. Haven't yet faced any significant damage. This is their chance to clock up some rounds. Start the ball rolling. Before it's too late. Trick.
Yeah, and this is where they really need to start picking up some rounds right now. This up on the long corner could be the, I guess, the tide turner, but as we can see, utility being used really well already by Trick. They've been able to actually force him back off of the corner. What can Mono do? He was waiting, I guess, and hoping that someone would overextend slightly and give him a chance to get a kill. But that wasn't the case. Instead, now it's going to be down to the 5-on-5 retake. Not something you see too often. Question is, will they be able to make it happen over on the x-kom side? So far, it's not looking too likely. A 2-for-1 trade being found. Mono steps up to actually drop one in mid. Oh, and a quick headshot towards Burrup as well. Making this doable right now. Goofy and Stomp coming in together. It's planted for short, but Acor's on long. They're just going to look to try and stick the bomb. It's a full 10-second defuse that's needed, but they will be able to find it. As luckily enough, Goofy, of course, did just hop straight onto it. It was close, but he gets it. And finally, x-kom picking up a round. 6-1 going to be the scoreline. We've seen, of course, x-kom get those strong starts and then let it slip away. We've seen Tricked come back from the slow starts. Now it's going to have to be the reverse. It's going to have to be x-kom coming back into it after early on going down.
Indeed, with a 6-1, x-kom find themselves behind on the receiving end of what they've been dishing out so far in this series. Tricked are facing against a pretty difficult buy with 2 AWPs in play. If they can find this window, you can see with x-kom's investment into this round, they will face off against a relatively easy buy. Now, full loss bonus will still be in effect. Of course, the counter gets knocked down by 1 for losing the round, but it gets +1, or for winning the round rather, but it gets +1 for losing this one. So you end up on whatever loss bonus you were on previously, which of course for x-kom is full. The buy could still come in. It would be a little bit weaker for util. It probably would just be pistol armor. Full buy. It gives a pretty decent spot for Trick, but it doesn't look like they'll be getting too much done early on, losing a lot of players. Jedker even picks up one on the cross. Stomp gets dropped, but Goofy's there to catch them off guard and land another kill for his side, putting it into a 4 versus 1. And with that, a victory in this round for x-kom. Once more, finding themselves ahead in the recent rounds. But overall, it's x-kom with the weight of the world on their shoulders because they're up against yet another full buy. Tricked have built up enough money at this stage to buy up till now. 3 full buys in a row. But x-kom doing the same with the AWPs in play. We saw them as dominant round the previous. This could be the start of the comeback.
Certainly could be, especially with Mono being able to step up for a quick triple kill like that. The initial frag did actually come in from Shoosh, but as we see in Mono stepped up when it was needed. 4-on-2. Acre actually kind of has the upper pin in towards this corner right now. It's get a little bit dangerous. I guess a flash could maybe be thrown in. More likely though, he just kind of sits in this corner and waits a while. There's actually a smoke as well. That'll give him a little bit of room to work with and get across to the actual car itself instead. Which is a slightly more, I would say, workable position. You can pop up and down to try and take your shots, but of course you can also be wall banged. So it has its up and its downsides. Ooh, and Stomp is still at the car. They should have known that. They should have been able to spot that he never actually crossed back over. He's allowed to find 1 before being traded by Acor, but it's a 1-on-3 now. This should be a 3rd round being done for x-kom. At this point now, x-kom slowly working their way back into this. 3 to 6, the buy a little bit limited from Tricked, and Oscarish looking to get aggressive. Shoulder peek at the moment coming in. It's just trying to play for info. Barup is up close as well, and they have more help nearby as well. There we go. Oscarish finds Hunden, able to fall back into safety for a moment. Has a teammate here to assist as well. Gets a second for himself, and eventually falls. But with that, it is now a 1v3. Shush is the last man standing. He has the bomb and should be able to get it planted at least. But it's 3-on-1 now in play. This is looking to be a 4th round for x-kom.
And indeed it is plenty of time to get that defuse in, leaving Tricked in the wind with a 6-0 lead. They've all of a sudden found themselves in a very contentious spot. And one that certainly won't result in an easy victory as it was appearing to be just moments ago. Starting this round off very well, just falling back, finding the frags, letting his teammate help him out a little bit more to get more value from his life. And the Alpers have been doing very well so far for the CT side. Tricked still favorites. Move through this. And with AKs now in play, and indeed a full buy consisting of a Krieg as well. Oh, excuse me. The util is somewhat limited on the T side, but they can just basically gamble. Oh, very nice smoke by Borup as the angle and finds the kill. Looking for one on Hunden as well. I was going to say they can basically just gamble on a site, go in for an execute with the util they have, and never look back. But they don't even need to do that. They just send 2 players towards A and they clear it up all by themselves, pushing us into a 5 versus 2. Both x-kom players being in middle, and no real safe area for them to save these weapons over.
Oh, Akar gets one. Or rather, Oscarish gets one before being traded. Akar, of course, did also take one for himself to get the trade, but with that now only Jedgar remains. As you said, they wanted to save these weapons over. If Jedgar isn't able to actually save that AUG, then I don't know if we're going to see x-kom being able to actually afford a full buy in this next round. The rest of the team will be able at least, but Jedgar, on the other hand, he'll be left with a weaker weapon, so it is definitely a big weapon that he needs to carry over. It looks like he's going to have to try and fight for it, and sadly doesn't even get much of a chance to do so.
Well, so far, Tricked have got 8 opening kills in 7 rounds connected, and you know, over 70% of the time that they find the opening kill, they're able to connect a victory on the back of that round. It's such an important factor for this team, and something that they're doing very well is locating that. Now, this time, they're going in for the cheeky play, the same thing they did last time. Stomp very wisely backs away. He was being baited in there, a flashbang about to be popped as he peeked it. It would have worked out, and they probably would have found the opening kill, but Stomp manages to stay alive, avoiding giving that over to Tricked for now at least, and seeking it for himself. He won't find it just yet, but he knows there's a player behind that smoke, lands the kill, backs off. The bomb's still planted, but with the man advantage turning into a 2-man, this could be x-kom pulling the round back.
Yeah, it's looking really likely at this point. Jedgar actually able to find one as well. Suddenly the 5-on-2 turned into a 5-on-1. And it's quickly put down. x-kom actually will be able to find that 5th round, and they keep all 5 players alive. That is exactly what they need in order to build up a little bit of bank in the reserve, get the upgrades here. Well, not the upgrades, but rather repurchase all the utility that they need, etc. And of course, they have begun to recover things somewhat well. It's a map that isn't really considered to be too heavily biased towards either side, maybe slightly T-sided if anything. So x-kom bringing this back up to 5 after being down so massively is looking pretty good for them indeed. Let's see how much further they can actually manage to take it though.
Well, it's all about going the distance here for x-kom. They've got 5 rounds on the board, and with Tricked still, you know, they're up around 7. At this point, I feel like this is where we need to see x-kom start to lock them out, put up the rounds, claim that 8 to 7, at least 7 rounds on the board for themselves. They don't really want to allow Tricked to claim any advantages. We saw what they were able to do from behind in the previous series, or the previous map over on Train. Oscarish avoids that flashbang. He sees the shoulder coming out, but very good movement. Means that there will be no kill given over by Stush. Not even a point of damage. Because Oscarish the only one to take any damage from that. With 26 HP. Lucky it wasn't a headshot connected. Could have been a very swift B push. And a very swift rotation towards the A bomb site, where Tricked now look to execute. They have got their smokes flying on over. And again, this is going to be Stomp tested. He did it last time. Can he do it again? Up against what will be a much faster push and a much more concentrated one. Picks up the 2 as they cross towards the bomb site. And 8-core returns it eventually, but it could be a little bit too late. A man disadvantage certainly makes things more difficult as they're spread more thinly. Not even focusing towards the same part of the map. They took control of the back of the bomb site. They pushed short as well. It's a very, very staggered defense from Trick. The afterplan's just not in play. As a team, anyways, not in tune. And Bubsky eventually taken out by the peek over the box, and that's it. Defuse to come through, assuredly to be connected, as of course there is a kit in play. So it's going to be 7 to 6. And x-kom find themselves in what is not a bad spot, considering where we were at the 6 to 0 lead for Tricked.
Yeah, that lead has definitely begun to fall away from them. You can see Shush has been one of the top performers so far for Tricked. He had a pretty good performance back on Train as well, if I remember correctly, so has been doing a pretty solid job. Of course, is the newcomer to this lineup. But right now, x-kom, as you said, they've come back from what was a 6-0 deficit. They're up only 1 round behind at this point. They have a chance to maybe even still win out the half. Can they manage to do that, though, is the question. Tricked getting ready for what looks to be a B hit, but they're going to be running into the op of Oscarish. So Jedker ready with that AK to try and help defend. Oh, and they just line up as they come through the smoke. Jedker gets an easy triple spray down. And he's waiting for another to try and emerge from the smoke so he can bring it even further. Doesn't even need him to come out of the smoke. A little burst through, drops the bomb. That's a 4K now. Leaving only 8-core, and he's about to step into the op of Oscarish, most likely, rather. Shoulder has actually been spotted, and there's the ace. Jedker just goes in for the 1-tap. 7 to 7, Mitch. This is not the score I was expecting this half to go after how it started.
And it feels like we're saying that every single game. I mean, these players are just constantly... They're bamboozling us at every turn. Every time we seem to understand what's happening, no, they decide to do something else. And 7 to 7, x-kom come in with 2 opening kills on the AWPs. They come in so fast. The Tricks just were not aware. They weren't happy with it. Caught out in the open. How's Mono still alive? Someone explain? He's not going to get a kill on the back of that, is he, as well? He is. Okay. Well, CSGO doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah, 8 to 7 at half time. x-kom actually end up taking the lead after just after being down and massively, and for what looked like to almost, I guess, be the end of the game for them. I didn't really have very much hope at all. We seen then 4 rounds being strung together. They lost 1 and strung together another 4 immediately afterwards. And suddenly, coming into the second half now, I'd say this pistol round is very important for Trick. Sure, the score is quite close overall, but The 8 of the last 9 rounds haven't gone in favor of x-kom. I think definitely puts them in a great position mentally going into the second half.
Yeah, they've got the momentum built up, and can they snowball half number 2? We'll find out soon.
LOOT.BET, made for live betting.
So, dudes, we're here with an 8-7 scoreline in favor of x-kom at the half. Considering Tricked were up 6-0, it's not too bad of a scoreline all in all. As the T side now comes to fruition, Tricked are going to be tested. They buy a kit on Hunden alongside 2 flashbangs. This will be an interesting deployment for them. Hunden, of course, sitting towards middle, attempting to help out his B site players if a push comes in, but he's going to have to rotate to A pretty quickly, as the T's have already pushed up, and a double smoke cross will be making it to that bomb site. Never mind, not unscathed. Hunden manages to find one. You can see the feet of the cross as well, but they jump over it. Going for the jump shots, trying to style on them. It's not going to happen, Hunden, but it's still, he's claimed a man advantage for his team. That could potentially push them into favor come the retake. Gotta hurry up, though.
And even while they are hurrying up, they need to be careful of Oscar, of course, who is still in this pit. Oscar-ish looking to try and be just a bit of a nuisance. Problem is, right now, he's actually given a chance for the USPs to go ahead and find the frags. He needs to try and actually take them down, leaving his teammates exposed. And the USPs just clean up instantly. Tricked do manage to come out on top of that pistol round. And as we both said, that is very important from the pickup so that they don't allow for that momentum to be carried over by x-kom. I'd say that first pick there by Hunden was a really big claim. Got the man advantage, kind of served as a little bit of a, I guess, distraction, some worry in their mind. And also allowed for Tricked, of course, to have a little bit of comfort going into the retake with a man advantage.
Indeed, that's exactly what they were looking for and exactly what they found. The comfort to break the momentum of x-kom, who are now on pistols alongside a scout. The mental game perhaps about to swing in favor of Tricked. With Borb finding the opening to Oscar, that's long control seized by the CT side. And x-kom now, you know, the thing is they've not angled themselves towards a particular part of the map just yet. The bomb's still sitting in the T spawn. As 2 players aggress up short, it is Stomp trying to find some damage or a kill with the scout, while the rest of the team is behind him, but facing off against Acor, who's also picked up a scope early on, is not usually good for your health, but Goofy manages to walk with 1 mono onto Bubsky. This could be very bad. A 3 versus 3, low HP on Borup as well, still a scout in play. We could be looking at a very different round to what we expect to come through. Developing.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a round win for x-kom, but they're at least making it costly. Getting a few kills out of it, doing some damage. As they go on towards A now, there's 2 players in position. Baruch being one with the AUG. He manages to just about spot the head and take it off. Leaving only Jedker, who was going for the bomb plant and I believe got very, very close on it indeed, but sadly wasn't able to put it in place. Would have been a nice boost indeed into their further buy rather coming into this round. They will still be able to get the full investment. Rifles are coming out for x-kom. And let's see if they're going to be able to get a bit of a quicker start here on this half. Or if they're going to be going down massively once again before they really get their feet on the ground at all.
Acor coming in, misses the opening shot. It would have been a flick. Hunden, though, does some damage. That Molotov's now going to become very scary for Goofy as he backs off. The kill's not going to be found even after that. This is a little bit awkward into a 3v3. Hunden's quite low. Or finds a Molotov kill. Stomp also being on 2 HP is going to find it very difficult to get anything done in this round. Still over towards middle, but Borb goes down. Hunden's already out of the game. Stush might be cut off by Stomp. The spam goes through the door. I don't know if he heard Stomp there. Finding it now. A 2 versus 2. Flash goes over, but Oscarish peeks before it can pop and pushes it over to just Hunden. They knew where he was, and they took care of him. 9-9. Tied up now, Dean. This series couldn't have gotten any closer. And it is so hard to pick a favorite right now, with each team having players performing off the charts. Does seem like this map is going to be sticking with the formula of the previous, and the odds indeed reflecting it. Very hard for them to pick a favorite. They're favoring Tricked by the slightest of margins. Coming into this round, though, you've got to be favoring x-kom because the buy looks a lot better for that T side.
Indeed it does, and already with an opening kill going in their favor as well, it puts them in a pretty solid position. Stomp going to be slightly tagged up in the tunnels, but already with the advancement coming up through mid as well, the split on towards B, there's not really much that Tricked can do to hold it down. They do end up pretty much all falling. Even, of course, only Baruch now is the last man standing. He has a Dig and Kevlar, so it may be worthwhile for him to just try and save that in all honesty. But, of course, coming into this next round for Trick, they likely are just going to have to take an eco. Which means we should see x-kom being able to lead 11-9 before the guns come out again.
And that lead is all too valuable, as now Tricked find themselves trailing behind a little bit, but we didn't see them ever giving up the mental game. They never started to feel left out. It's been a consistent performance from these guys, regardless of where they find themselves. And we saw them down 10-5 on Train on their CT side and still came back into it, brought it to an overtime and won. If that's the kind of mentality we're facing off against here, I believe we're going to be in for a rough fight on the x-kom side. Tricked, definitely showing what they're capable of, but again, the problem is for this round, coming in with very little to take x-kom on, so X should be walking away with this. Full AKs, full utility. Ultimately, the objective is to minimize casualties and make sure they get out of this with as many rifles as possible to build up their economy for future rounds.
It's the eco from Trick. We don't expect a lot to be found, but a couple of kills would have been nice. Sadly, not seeming too likely at this point, as they are being quite swiftly cleaned up by the rifles. Only Shush remains currently over towards B, and sadly that doesn't look like it's going to be where x-kom end things. Instead, they've already made their way up short, and that bomb should be planted within the next few seconds. And at that point, of course, the round pretty much confirmed in favor of x-kom. I would say confirmed, but I've seen stranger things happen. But I don't expect this 1v5 to actually come true, Mitch. I will, I don't know, I'll do something really stupid if he wins this. I'll let you choose, Mitch. That's how stupid it is.
If he gets 5 kills or if he wins the round?
If he wins it.
If
he gets 5 kills and doesn't win the round, it's a bit useless, isn't it?
It's styling. That's what CS
useless.
is all about.
It'd be good damage, but CS is not all about style. It's all about the W's. All about the W's, man. Didn't happen anyway, so it doesn't matter.
The Tricked side, I like the Shush just goes straight down to a FAMAS. You know, a player like him, he's been so impactful, had a lot of individual plays, but he's not tempted to take out the rifle. He's happy to take the FAMAS. Be a team player. What a good guy. Good guy, Shush. x-kom don't have those worries, though. Not just yet. Their economy's starting to stack up on a couple of players. Well, everybody bar Stomp. Taking out the AWP. And not taking the kill with it. Okay, misses that one to open it up. That could present an opportunity now for Tricked. They are kind of stuck up short. They're going to run on back, jumping around the corner, hoping the AWP didn't re-peek. And indeed, he didn't. So they get away with that one for now. x-kom beginning a rotation towards the B bomb site, but still leaving players on long. The players on long, it's going to be Stomp. He has got a smoke and an AWP. So you could drop a smoke at the cross, see if they're baited into peeking, find a kill, and then it's a convincing enough fake. considering he's holding a wide angle. But they need to do something. I mean, a minute on the clock. We've seen the clock be the enemy of a lot of these players before. And utility used down towards short. Now's the time perhaps for Stomp to burn a little bit on A. There it is. The smoke on the cross from Stomp thrown off screen. He starts to push up a little bit. He throws a Molotov. Now it really looks like an A hit, and this is working perfectly for Team x-kom as Oscarish takes down Bubsky. Now there's only one player on B, and they know it. The B push to come through in just a couple moments.
Yeah, the raids even from x-kom right now on this T side are pretty great. Oscarish just about gets that kill, surviving on a single point of HP. He will eventually fall, as will Stomp over on long, but of course they've done a good job at selling that fake. They've already pulled the rotations off of B. And with that, the bomb now should be planted. A 3-on-3 retake gonna have to come in. No defuse kit in play for Tricked. That bomb going down, and I think they're pretty much already forced into just going for the save. You can see backing away. Definitely would agree with this. 3-on-3 retake without the kit, of course, I would say is near impossible on that B bomb site.
Yeah, I mean, in a way I like it, in a way I don't. They super, like, they really committed towards that A fake. Sending a player up short along with long. They'd already found the kill on the rotation. I felt like they could have just maintained middle control and pincered the guy on B. They knew there would only be one at that point. Unless it was a late round triple stack to B, which would just be crazy because they hadn't poked long at all. Because, of course, Stomp had been holding it the whole round. Yeah, they definitely could have walked away with more players alive and focused more on the bomb site than on, you know, trying to get some extra kills on A. But nonetheless, it works out. Obviously, the save forced over by Tricked. The Dolop setup, though, carried forward for the CT side. That's almost a decent round for the CTs, with the exception of the fact that, of course, they don't have enough money to force up here. London manages to open it with a quick wall-bang headshot on long, and that could be the deciding factor in this round. x-kom, a man behind and with no control towards long, now have to think about what they want to do in this round, because top mid control could already be in the CT's possession. So they're pretty confined towards hitting B. But they want to take the risk and go elsewhere, clear out middle. Bit of map control. Victor getting all the information as they do so.
Yeah, right now x-kom don't really have too much control. They do have at least short, but they've given up pretty much everywhere else on the map. A couple players still sitting around tunnels at this point. It seems like they do want to try and bring it over towards B, and they've actually had a lot of success splitting onto this bomb site so far. Bubsky gets taken down immediately on mid, was trying to play in behind that door, and a smoke out towards B now going to make things a little bit more difficult. Acor on the up can't really get much sight. He's going to have to shush instead to see if he can hold it down. A bit of a gap on the smoke gives him a chance to do so, and he actually does manage to find a second kill as well, and actually somehow brings it up to a third. What's happening? How have they not managed to trade this? It takes so long. Eventually Oscarish gets it done, but now he's in a 1-on-3. And I don't think he has an idea that this op is still on the bomb site. I don't believe Acor showed himself at all. And he's allowed to just pounce and quickly get the kill from behind.
With another clocked up for Tricked, that's going to be a 12-10. 2 rounds in it, but Tricked so far haven't yet broken the money of x-kom. You're still going to see the T's with the full buy, AKs and an AWP. And with a bomb plant in this round, that would present the opportunity for another full buy in the next. Especially with a couple of kills in the mix to keep that Tricked economy nice and low. Financial game still very much in a middle ground. No team pulling ahead in particular just yet. Smoking the cross here, so it's evidently going to be a hit towards B. At least that's what it's appearing early on. Oskarish still attempting to poke out the A-bomb side and see if he can find anybody there. Stomp takes down Bubsky. That opens B up. Opportunities are blooming for x-kom. A-core does manage to pull at least a kill back, but is it going to be enough? That's the real question, and as the B defense falls, it's looking like it most certainly will not be. This should be a save at this point from Tricked. There's very little they can do on this retake, especially with an AWP and no utility outside of a flash and a Molotov.
Yeah, no, the save, of course, has to come in at this point for Tricked. It's really beginning to fall away from them. They had such a great lead coming into this map, and since then haven't really found much success at all. Barup makes it a somewhat costly round, at least getting a couple of frags outside tunnels. Can he stay alive, though? That's the main thing. Gets one more before eventually going down. And in my opinion, that just wasn't worth it. Sure, he gets a few kills and does some damage, but I think saving really would have been the best position for him. He'll still be able to buy at least. Doesn't really keep any money in the reserve, sadly. And I believe at least A-core should be able to drop a rifle over to the one player who was a little bit too low on money. But not looking good. x-kom right now leading 13-10. And since they swapped over to this T side, have been looking pretty much unstoppable. They've been relentless with the aggression, and it's been working out so well. And again, that's what they're going to be going for. Jedker straight out long. But look at this from Barup. He goes through the smoke of his own. Makes it work for a quick double kill on the AUG. And with that now, x-kom have been, I guess, forced to kind of shy away from that long control early on. They've been forced to give it up. 3-on-5. This is the best it's looked in quite a while for Tricked.
In what world are you able to get away with that? That is incredible. Straight through his own smoke for a double. With another kill swinging in favor. And again, Stush does it. It's Oskarish 1 versus 4. And what is definitely not a good position for x-kom. Remember, their economy is not ripe anymore. They will feel the sting of losing this round. Unable to get a full buy on Oskarish for the next, but he probably won't go for the save. Only worth aggressing for it. You maybe get dropped over or just be the player on a weaker weapon. Alongside Goofy. Shot from Bubsky. Not going to hit, and he's completely surrounded at this point. It's top mid, short, and a bomb site. There was nothing he could do. No escape. And brutally executed. We conclude the round, and this was fantastic. Flashbang goes in. They're not even flashed, but they had turned from the flash. So they were just readjusting their perspectives. As Borup was happy to take their perspectives and put a bit of red in it. 13-11, 2 rounds between these teams now. One thing for x-kom is that they have a very, very well-rounded performance. Between 60 and 80 ADR on all players. Tight-knit scores in terms of kills as well. And the assists towards the bottom of the scoreboard, which is what you expect. So all in all, I think they're going to be happy with their performance so far. Especially with the lead built up for them. The only problem is the economy in this round doesn't allow for a whole lot of contention.
Oh, Jedker finding a quick pick. I'm not sure where that was actually towards, but gives them a bit of a chance here. Now they're going to be trying to split onto the B bomb site. Problem is, there's still 2 players to hold it down, and they have done so successfully. Jedker was actually lurking over towards short. 1 kill he found, sadly, didn't really amount to too much in the long run. With that now, of course, Trick, they're managing to bring this back into, again, a competitive game. 12-13. It seems like it's always one team to get a lead early on. Take like maybe a 7-1, 7-2 lead, something like that. Then lose a bunch of rounds, let it get really close, lose the lead a bit maybe, then bring it back close again. That just seems to how it's I guess been every single map. We haven't seen a start coming into a half where it was back and forth very much. Which is, I would say, somewhat surprising, especially with how much easier it is now to get the buy, especially when it gets a little bit further in towards that full loss bonus on round 4.
Yeah, indeed. I think it's definitely fair to say it's a surprise, but it's just how these two teams seem to be interacting. They get a little bit of momentum, and they get chopped down, and the other team builds up theirs. The 13-12 on the scoreboard. Pause comes in. The discussion from x-kom right now shouldn't see too much in terms of utility investment. They haven't got a whole lot of money to spare. So presumably, we're looking at a tech pause, I would imagine. I don't know what else could really be discussed at this point. Just noticed Borup has an 86% headshot ratio. Not bad. Not bad at all. Definitely use him on my HLTV fantasy team. Instead of literally anybody on my HLTV fantasy team.
I mean, whose fault is that, Mitch?
Listen, I had last pick, okay? Everybody was taken.
I mean, yeah, 86% headshot's decent. Problem is, it's not decent if they don't win the game.
That is accurate. I once had a 100% headshot ratio game. Played 2 rounds.
Did you get 1 kill?
She got 3 kills, Dean, so
3 kills. You hit 3 headshots in 1 game. Congratulations.
those were the only shots I hit, sadly.
Yeah, I know, you can only get lucky so much.
Alright, yeah. You never get lucky in Siege, do you?
No, I do. What happened last time we played? I think you went for 0 frags like 3 games ago.
I was helping you out, alright? I was teaching the new guy. The
You
13
weren't.
to
Zoot
12.
was teaching me and Zoot was still fragging.
Shh. Moral support. The Tricked in there with 13 to 13. They're looking good. Tying it up. This is where the buy comes in from x-kom. And where things maybe get a little bit nasty. Not going to see an AWP at least coming out from these guys. Just thinking back to the other day, Dean, where we saw the Krieg pre-fire down middle. Beautiful. This time it's going to be an AWP fighting on middle. A little bit concerning if the cross comes back over towards B, but the smoke towards the bottom of mid. Tricked are kind of robbed of any information. They have to go for their info plays elsewhere, and it's Borup coming up short that decides to be the player to do it. He gets flashbanged. But confident that he won't be peeked just yet because of that smoke up on top of the box. He knows no one's going to be jumping up on him. Molotov down there stops anybody peeking on the box, but even still, he falls to Mono. One of the definitely more present players in the previous map. Had some phenomenal performances there. Still doing quite well here. Like 70, 80 or 17 for 13. Not too bad at all. A trade back for the CTs. They have control of tunnels, which isn't the easiest spot to fight from, but Bubsky makes it look easy. Oh, he's found the double. The collateral as they peek in to finish the round. What a way to close it. 2 kills, and then they peek him like that. Good night and sweet dreams to x-kom in one of their better opportunities to close this map out. Tricked have come from behind, found the previous map after being 10-5 down, and here we are, Dean, in what is a phenomenal comeback from Tricked.
Yeah, 14-13. When it seems like a game is over, it seems like a team is completely out of hope, somehow they managed to start pulling it back, and I just don't know how this is happening. Tricked weren't finding anything at all on the CT side, and suddenly it looks like they're actually about to take themselves onto map point. And of course, with that series point.
Indeed, it looks very likely as x-kom are more than likely going to be sticking over to an eco in this round, or a couple of pistols at best, leaving them into a very difficult situation, because then they have to fight for the overtime, and again, it's never ideal to be on that to be counted out in regulation. The pause comes through. This time, it is probably an economic discussion from x-kom as they decide where exactly they're going to buy down to. It seems the 1K mark is the decided on. Stomp, not buying anything, presumably gonna, well, he is a deagle, but other than that, not buying any armor or utility. He's going to be saving up for the AWP a little bit later on, while the rest of the team look for the damage here with pistolas in hand, and then they'll take AKs afterwards. You know what it probably was? The pause had to come out so they could get the calculator out and figure out where their loss bonus was at. Where it would be at in the next round. They have the ticker. Yeah.
Should they not have
the ticker? I forgot about the ticker. Yeah.
So they should be okay. But yeah, 14-13 right now. Not looking good, especially since this round isn't really one you give x-kom too much chance in. Already as well, the opening kill comes in by Acor. His shoulder being spotted is enough for him to snatch away a frag. But he is looking to get aggressive again, and this could get somewhat dangerous, but never mind, he takes the head this time.
This round has not gone according to plan, that's for sure, as Tricked walk away without a single player dropped, and you could see that Hundem was going to clean that one from the get-go. With 15-13, Tricked 2 rounds they have to attempt a victory, and they have all the money in the world. The double up setup this time is Bubsky and Akor. No question as to why they put it on Bubsky. We saw his performance on the B bomb side peek towards top middle. Doesn't result in a frag just yet, as it will be a slower round, but Akor still manages to walk away with one peeking from short. You're just never safe up against these operas. Akor goes in for another and lands it as well. This is not looking good. x-kom being picked apart with a 2-man disadvantage already. And Hundem up close. If Jedker goes for this peak, could be finding another for his team. Oh, that timing. You gotta feel for Oscarish. Flicked his mouse at exactly the wrong moment there. Hundem picks up one. It's all onto Jedker with a double. He's got a 1 versus 3 on offer. Smoke goes down towards CT, but it's a fake. He's going to make his way up towards A. Problem is, bomb's top mid. It's already been spotted at this point. Borup knows it's here. He knows the Jedker's coming back, and he's got the AUG. Not any longer. Taken down. 1 versus 2. Jedker could do this. He could pull this back. The overtime is still possible for x-kom, but Bubsky on the AWP finishes him off, double scoped, and it's going to be a 16-13 victory for Tricked, who take the